All right. So we are going to be working with activity lesson 1.1, activity 1.1.4, and distance learning support. The goals are to create an abstract drawing using while loops and iteration, examine the effects of infinite loops and zero iteration conditions, and predict how many times a while loop will iterate. And we're going to experiment with the effects of operator precedence on code execution. We're going to increment an integer and check conditions in a program. And we're going to be using the Python program. So in Python, while answer equals y is the same as while answer equal. So the while loop. In the previous activity, you learned about the for loop. The for loop is used to repeat statements a specified number of times or to iterate through a list of values, which you will learn about later in this course. In this activity, you will create spirograph drawings by repeating statements while a condition is met. When you want something to happen, as long as a condition stays true, you use a while loop. Okay. When the condition in a while statement is true, the indented code following it executes. Every time the indented code segment executes, the condition at the top is evaluated again to see if it's true. So it says the while syntax. This is the while syntax here for the while loop, and so on. Examine the following code. Let's see what it would do. So we're going to be using the while loop module answer equals y. Let's run it. Type y for your yes, or n for no. So we go y. So if you type y, if you type y, it's going to print yay, you're in the loop. And then it's going to say, do you want to continue in the loop? Type yes to continue. So this is a perfect example of a while loop because you just keep continuing the loop. If I type Y, it will continue to say, yay, you're in the loop. Do you want to continue in the loop? Now, if I type the N, then it says you're officially out of the loop. So that's how a while loop works. So let me minimize this for a minute. Minimize all of this to get my Okay, so continuing on, it says the program continues to execute as long as the user enters a Y. Do you want to continue 10 the loop in the loop? So this is a perfect example of how a while loop works. It just continues as long as you enter the Y. The program execution stops because it executes a false response. So now moving on to zero iteration condition and infinite loops. How can I pause this?